Hey guys, this is John, and I'm playing Grandmaster CPE in a 3-1 Blitz game on ICC. This is just a GM that I challenged, and we decided to play a 3-1 game. I'll play a Semi-Slav. No idea who this GM is or how many games we'll play, so that remains to be seen. But nice to get a game and a match against a pretty strong player, too. You see these ratings are pretty high. You know, I don't claim to be a 3,000 player by any stretch of the imagination, but Blitz ratings on ICC, pure Blitz categories, are usually a little bit higher. Okay, so knight d2. So this is one major move. Instead of c takes d5, I'll play bishop b4. I don't know knight d2 as well as c takes d5. I believe I'm supposed to play c5 now, so let's do that. And I think queen a4 is now the move, which looks incredibly awkward. But note that this knight is pinned, so my queen is not in danger on a4 yet. It's currently Sunday afternoon, about 3 o'clock p.m. Central Time. I've been enjoying watching the World Blitz and Rapid. They had the second day of the Rapid today, so they played 10 games so far. C takes d5. Take with the pawn or with the knight? Probably with the pawn. Yeah, let's take with the pawn. Maybe I'll end up accepting an isolated pawn. Remains to be seen. Okay, they take on f6. So I'll take back here. They might take on c5. Well, if they take with the pawn, though... Okay, so this is a little strange because I can't play bishop takes c5 because I lose my queen. So I want to regain this pawn, but I have to do it carefully. Bishop f5 is not possible. Castling seems normal. Is knight e4 anything? Knight e4 trying to pile up here? Nah, I don't see anything with that. Queen c6, perhaps? Queen c6, I think they could play a3. Let's just castle. That's probably the best. I'm anticipating bishop d3. Yeah. And now they're ready to castle, and then my queen will be under attack. So I got to do something about that. So maybe now I have to play queen back to c6. Just not sure I'm getting compensation here. Let me think about this. I might be coming up a little short. Queen c6, castles, bishop takes c5, and there's knight takes d5 perhaps. I'm going to try it though. I don't see what else to do. I do think they can play that knight takes d5 move though, because that would have the queen join the attack on c5, so just not sure. Yeah, knight takes d5, queen takes d5, then knight takes c5, let's say. Maybe I'll have some comp. I mean, it's an open board, but it's not looking likely. Yeah, and they spotted it. Okay, so I'm just going to try to play fast and get something going. Note they can't take with the queen because the bishop would hang. Let's play bishop g4. At least control the d1 square. Rook c8 is a threat, pinning the knight to the queen. Like I said, this player appears to be anonymous, but pretty high rating, so I'll try to play them as much as I can here. So if I take bishop takes and then h7 and b7 are under attack, maybe knight d7. Yeah, let's run away. I'm down on the clock and I'm down a pawn. Not looking good, guys, for this first game. There is that increment, though, so maybe I can cook something up. Yeah, I don't think that sacrifice is at all sound if I take on h3, so I'm going to pass up on that. Wants to trade queens. Let's not do that. Let's keep the queens on the board. I'm down a pawn, so I want to play to complicate if possible. Maybe knight e5. Let's go knight e5 and attack that bishop. Bishop e4 makes sense. Rook b8 is horribly passive. Bishop c4 maybe? Okay, let's go bishop c4 and attack the queen. Just see where that queen goes. Probably queen c2. And queen there. Okay, let's play rook b8, just guard that. Maybe f4 is what they'll do, offering a queen trade. And also hitting my knight on e5. There's other moves too.
Check.
Yeah, now I kind of got to trade. Let's do this. See what sort of resistance I can put up now. They're going to invade? Nope. Okay, let's do... Oh, I didn't I didn't see that my bishop was actually going to be hanging after that. Now I think they can take... I take c3, they take with the pawn. Wow, they're actually going to do it this way. Okay, so if I take a2, I guess we'll take a2. Let's see what happens there. Come back. Maybe a5? If I can get something going counterplay-wise with this move. Rook b5 on the next move. Double up and maybe attack that knight somehow. Let's come here. Actually, this might gain me some counterplay. Let's take. Don't think I'm going to get a better situation than that.
Check.
Let's break up these pawns. Just try to get my king active a little bit. Maybe rook up to b3.
Check. Check.
Let's come here. I think this should be a draw now. I'm just going to trade this off. Yeah, it should be a definite draw now. Especially with the increment. We'll see if I can hold it. He's going to torture me. I mean,
check.
3-1, I'm expecting to definitely get tortured. Let's come here. Let's just wait. Let's wait again. Let's take now. Let's come here. And then if f6, I'll play...
Check.
I was planning on playing rook f5. It's actually similar to a fortress I saw, I think, in one of the World Blitz and Rapid games the other day. The point is, like, their rook can never leave the defense of the g-pawn. All right. So I saved that game. Let's offer a rematch. He took it. Okay, we'll play d4. You can see how important rook endings are. If you guys want to improve your technique, study rook endgames. It's kind of the litmus test for an endgame player, like how good your rook endgames are. I'm not going to claim I played that perfectly, but I believe getting the bishop off the board for that knight, I'll play knight g3 here and take with the c-pawn should they take. So trading my light square bishop for white's knight was a big help in that position. I got it down to a rook ending, and even though I was still down a pawn, it wasn't fatal. So let's see what CPE has in this line that I like to play frequently. Knight e8, that's a new one. Okay, we'll play bishop e3. Let's see if they go for f5. Okay, now I'll play queen d2. Looks like they're angling for b5 instead. Do I play a5 myself, or do I just let them play b5? All right, I'm going to try to take en passant should they actually play b5. And we'll see. In the middle game, I might want to castle and then play for like f4 and e5. That's the usual plan in these positions. Takes with a knight. All right, let's just castle. No knight c4 to worry about. My bishop covers that square. Okay, clearly they're trying to put something on b5. So if I take a6, I take with a rook, they take c3, and then bishop b5 at the end of that line. Although I do have bishop h6. So can I take that? Now they actually get knight c4 in if I do that, so that wouldn't be good. All right, let's swap these bishops. Let's see if I can trade those dark square bishops. I know I'm not doing anything to address knight b5, but I think getting the dark square bishops off the board will be good because when they play knight b5, there's going to be some heat coming down on that knight on c3, so I think trading should be in my favor. Okay, interesting. So they're actually going to move the rook after this and avoid the swap. That makes some sense. f4. Bishop g5 maybe? Let's play bishop g5 and just see where they go with that queen. If f6 and bishop e3, not sure if bishop e3 would have been good there. Okay, so now if I take, queen takes, they might be trying to put the queen in on d4. Huh. I think I should take nonetheless. Yeah, let's take. I want to go f4 and e5 real quick, but that's not easy when they have queen d4 as a reply. f4, queen d4. Seems kind of odd to be afraid of that, but that is an idea for black. Because after f4, queen d4, if I trade, I mean, maybe I can play knight back to b1, but something about that position doesn't look right. Okay, let's come here. So if they put something on b5, I'll just take it. c4 becomes gradually weaker, though. Let's play b3. And if take with the queen, and then the a-pawn will be under attack. I need to get going with my counterplay, though. That's what I really want to do. Okay, let's take here. Knight takes, okay. Let's do this. And then play here, just to make sure rook b2 doesn't come. Worry about this knight. This could be out of play. It's not the greatest piece on g3 at the moment. That's sometimes a recurring problem for white in this particular line. It's like what to do with this piece. Endgames probably favor black. You know, if you were to take off the queens right now, then this a-pawn is a serious force. So I need to keep pieces on the board. I need to try to play f4, e5 and make it complicated. One really typical device is f4, and then after e5, pawn takes to go knight e4 or pawn f5. Okay, this move they're trying to go rook d3. Let's bring in our queen. Got to watch my time a little bit. They maybe can play queen c3 and insist on a queen trade. I might have queen d6 then if I want to keep queens on the board. My back rank should be okay for now. Bishop b5. A little bit worried about playing f4 when this rook is operating along the file here. But I think I kind of got to do it. Let's do it. I need some counterplay. I mean, otherwise this knight's like doing nothing. I got to give it some play. So, okay, queen c3 as expected. I think I got to trade. Maybe queen b6.
Time warning.
Nah, I'm going to trade. Oh, all right, I'm going to do this. Oh, and I have knight e4 after that. Okay, that's very important. For a second, it took me a while to see that knight e4 was actually hitting that rook and threatening the check on f6. Okay, let's come here and attack the bishop. Let's take that and play g4. Just try to create some confusion, honestly. Let's take here and bring our king up. Very important to bring the king up. Then push the d-pawn, definitely.
Check. Check.
Can play king e6, can't they? This I did not anticipate.
Check.
All right, well, at least I'm going to go take this pawn. Once again, we have a drawn position. Let's see
Check.
at the time if I can, what I can do here. It's a total draw. It's a rook pawn. Just bring this over.
Check.
Check our opponent a bunch of times.
Check.
Draw.
All right. Yeah, once again, kind of saved a tricky-looking position right there. He was pressing. He was pressing in that endgame. Let's mix this up a little bit. Maybe I'll play a Benko Gambit. Just see what he has in store against this opening. This used to be one of my mainstay weapons in my repertoire, but I kind of felt it was like unreliable in longer time controls against IM-GM opposition, so hence I stopped playing it a little bit. Let's play this line with knight fd7. This is one interesting idea for black. You can try to maneuver the knight to b6, and you maneuver the kingside knight rather than the queenside knight. That's kind of the point of this. You open up the bishop on c3 immediately. Usually black plays knight bd7 instead. Yeah, and black wants to rush the knight to c4. Because that makes it hard for white to play b3, is the effect of this knight c4 maneuver. Probably they'll castle or maybe play queen c2. I would expect castles. Bishop d2, okay. Well, let's go ahead and do this, because otherwise they might play b3 and put a stop to that altogether, so might as well play knight c4. Let's take that dark square bishop. That's a valuable piece. Let's go knight d7. So now I have an unopposed dark square bishop. I like that. Let's go queen a5 and just attack c3 and also hit the queen. I could have played that on the last move, but I thought they might play knight a4, so I held off on it. So I think this should be pleasant. I mean, white is up a pawn, but that's nothing out of the ordinary for a Benko Gambit player. In this line, black gives up a pawn to open files on the queen side. Let's go rook fb8. This is all pretty standard looking. Maybe e2 is vulnerable. Like, I might be able to play bishop takes c3 and then bishop takes e2. I could have potentially done that on the last move. But I'm not sure I want to sell out so cheaply when I have this strong dark square bishop. I might want to retain that piece, keep it around a little bit longer. Okay, this is the first game where I've actually felt pretty good on the clock, too. So this prepares some e4 business, also just overprotects that pawn. Maybe rook b7. I mean, e4 is coming, so I have to be heads up about that. Nah, I think it's okay. I think I can play rook b7 for now. If e4, I'll take on f1. We'll proceed from there. We create some weaknesses. d4 becomes weaker. Okay, they play e3 instead. All right, probably I should trade. Takes with the king, yep. So if I take on c3 with the bishop, they would not be able to take with the queen. They'd have to take with a rook. Otherwise, knight b5 is coming next move. Okay, let's do this. And then I'm going to play, I'm thinking knight f6 on the next move, provided they take with a rook. Ah, they do take with the queen. Okay, but I thought this was a mistake because I have this move at the end of the line. And if they take, I get at b1. So that might have been a little miscalculation on white's part. Now if they trade, if they take on a4, I win b1, and then I get my rook behind the pawn, and I think that pawn's a goner, because if, say, rook c4, I have knight b6, attacking the rook and also the pawn. Sorry, I'm a little stuffed up still. All right, so technically speaking, this endgame is excellent for black. I've regained my pawn. d5 and b3 are weak. I think they're bringing that knight to c4. Can I play knight f6 right away? I think I can. Oh, no, they're actually threatening to take now, so I got to be heads up about that. Let's play this then. Huh. Okay, let's come here. They defend. Makes sense. Let's come here. Attack h2. If h3, I'm thinking knight e5. Hitting that rook. Is there a follow-up, though? I don't know. Really, that one. So knight e5, rook c3. There's no tactic for me, huh? I find that hard to believe, but... And if knight takes h2, king e2? Something along those lines? Okay, let's just do this. Let's play f5 then. Just gain a little space. I mean, they can't move with this knight because they lose f3, so this is still pretty unpleasant for white, I think. Maybe I can bring my king up, gradually improve my position. Maybe c4 at some point will be well-timed. Yeah, let's just bring our king up. Right, I'm going to come here and offer a trade of at least one of the rooks. They're very low on time now. e4, okay. Let's keep the rooks on the board now. I want to do that. Let's do this. Huh. I feel like I need to maneuver this knight somewhere. Maybe go after the d5 pawn. I'm going to go knight c4 if I move it. Okay, so let's come here for that reason. Now, how do they defend this? Let's give it a check. Let's come here. I'm not going to trade rooks yet. Don't feel like I have to. Let's come knight d4.
Check.
Go attack that knight again. Now we're up 2 pawns in the endgame. It should be a pretty trivial win. I'm going to let him take the h-pawn if he wants. It's not of great concern to me. Just push c3. All right. So won that game. Yeah, I think that was a good opening adjustment. I was kind of getting tortured in that first game, so we changed the opening up a little bit. Let's play knight f3 this game. And if he wants to enter a King's Indian, maybe I'll play my exchange line. We'll see how that turns out. Yeah, let's try this variation. I know some of you guys are groaning right now. Finns is playing another exchange line. I just like it. I don't know. It leads to positions I feel good about for white. I'm never going to claim that this opening just like leads to a clear edge for me or anything, but in a blitz game, it's completely playable. Even if your opponent just like pauses a little bit longer than they normally would, like that's kind of a win. I mean, if you can get them to take a little more time than they would, that's useful in a blitz game. Even in classical games, like the way a lot of top-level GMs choose openings is they look for lines where they know that their opponents are going to be forced to a tough decision. They might not be the best lines necessarily, but if they force the opponent to make an original decision early on, like that's good enough. Okay, let's trade the bishops. Probably king e2 is decent here. Yeah, let's do that. This knight looks a little strange on a6. I mean, I could go attack it with rook c6, but they're going to play knight b4, so I'm just waiting to see what they do with that piece. Huh. Do we trade a pair of rooks? Yeah, let's do that. Let's see if they want to swap. Because I think if we trade one pair of rooks, the a7 pawn gets a little weaker. You know, I might be able to go and start harassing that pawn. Like, for instance, if I get check on d8 and then rook a8 in, this pawn might fall. Oh, with that game, I'm over 3,000. Not like I really care about this rating category too much, or online ratings in general, but it's nice to be above 3,000 in a rating category. I used to play a lot more Blitz. Like, back when ICC didn't have the rating pools, like this was just the major time control that you played. It was just the general blitz category. And the difference is in this category, you can choose your opponents, whereas the pool, you're just randomly paired. Okay, here I think I'm going to check and then probably play that rook a8 move. I know that they can take on e4 then, but I don't think it matters too much. I can take on f5, but nah, I think rook a8 is the way to go. Yeah, let's do that. So, yeah, if they take e4, I was just going to come here. So I think they want to get their knight in and try to attack my queenside pawns. It's the very clear goal from that. All right, so if I take on a7 with the rook, we swap. They take a2, I take e4. Probably a bit better in that endgame, but so my king is closer to the action. I can also take e4, they take a2, I take a7, let's say with the bishop. That should be okay for black, though. If a3, knight d3, yeah, they're going to get at b2. a3, knight d3, b4, maybe? All right, I'm gonna offer to play this endgame. Let's see how we do here, because I think b5 is pretty weak. And with black's king out of the picture for now, maybe I can make something happen here. Let's go here and just restrict their knight and threaten knight d6.
Check.
All right, let's come here. So if they check b3, check. I'll go to c3. Yeah, let's do it this way. They can play e4 check. I was going to come here now. And I'm going to win e4 is the thing. Okay, so we get at this. If king f5, I have knight d6 check. Let's come h3. Yeah, king up. All right, so if I go king d3, they take b2. I give a check and then take here. That might be a draw, though, is the thing. Knight c3, there's b4. Knight d5. Let's try that. I think that might be okay. Maybe I can win that. Yeah, I think I can win that. I think I'm going to win the b pawn. b4, knight d5, bishop d6, king b3. Yeah, and we're getting at that b pawn. f3, there might be a few complications. I want to avoid black's king rushing in and just eating my kingside pawns. Just munching on those. b4, knight d5, bishop d6. You bring up my king first, king d3 instead of king b3? It's probably more accurate. Okay, let's do this. So if king f4, I have knight e2 at least. Let's come here. So they can't infiltrate with their king yet. That's nice for us. King c4 is an idea.
Check.
Let's give a check. Let's
check.
Take here. Okay, I'm gonna take. This is gonna be close.
Time.
How best to do this? I don't think I did this in a good way. Bishop d6, knight f7, I guess, but yeah, they have that. That's just a draw.
Check.
Yeah. Well, I messed that up somewhere right at the end. That was a little tricky. I feel like right here after king d3, I'm probably winning somehow. Maybe king c4? What did I do? I did king c4. Probably g4 is a bad move. I could take right away, but I was worried about knight f4. Or king f4, rather. All right, so we're playing CPE again. Let's play... They didn't really show much against that line, so let's go back to the Benko and see how they play this time around. I'll gladly repeat that line if they want to. Because that knight fd7 move is kind of a twist that I think gives black some interesting play. I didn't come up with that line, by the way. it's just a line that is playable. Okay, let's do this knight g4 variation. So sometimes black will try to angle the knight into e5 via this route. It's been ages since I've looked at the theory in this line, but you know, it's not going to stop me from playing it. Usually they play queen e2 now, trying to cover c4. And black will continue in usual fashion, queen a5, rook fb8, etc. I wonder here if I can play c4, if that's any good. Seems premature to do that. Let's just play queen a5. If bishop d2, I have that knight c4 move once again. Also from a5, the queen can sometimes come back to a6, which helps out with knight to d3. You can see that getting the knight into d3 is a typical Benko plan. So a pretty even match so far. I'm +1, but we've had 3 draws out of the 4 games. I like this. I like the fact that he's thinking. Already, I mean, it's not completely clear what white should do. Yeah, he develops the bishop, but that really invites this move. Attacking b2 and also c3. If he defends b2, now, I mean, I can take on b2. That's the threat here. Knight takes b2, queen takes b2, take on c3. Okay, so he's going to play b3 on the next move, most likely. That's the idea. Huh. Okay, what do I do about that? So if rook fb8, b3, knight a3, queen here. Yeah, there's not much doing in that case. Looks like he found a solution. Queen b4? Queen b4, b3 is very similar. I think I like that a bit more, so let's do that. Still probably put the knight in on a3. Maybe e5. I don't know. Because if I go to a3, after white's queen moves, I'm worried that they might try to stuff me with e5. It's the one thing I'm concerned about. Knight a3, queen d2. What if c4 then? That might not be a bad option. Let's try that. I guess I can come to d3 as well. Okay, let's play for c4. Kind of liquidating the queen side, but if I can trade the c for the b pawn, I'll gain some more open lines on the queen side. Yeah, knight a4 makes sense. I don't have to trade queens. I can move my queen back. Maybe queen b7. Yeah, let's do that. Because they can't take because their knight hangs. So I'm just trying to put pressure on b3 and playing this move. Maybe rook e3? Trying to defend laterally. Yep, plays it. He's got all these pieces lined up on this diagonal. This bishop can't be trapped, can it? h6, g5 is too slow. So if I take, he's going to take with a rook. Is the issue. Okay, let's come here. Let's just get this rook in the game. Not entirely sure what to do. I'm not sure how to unwind from here, so I'm just trying to play a useful move. Rook wasn't doing anything on f8. Sometimes you can play f5. That's maybe a move I could have considered on the previous move. He might still play e5, but I doubt it. Yeah, he's just getting the king off of that diagonal. What to do? Gotta come up with something fast here. Knight b5. Just take on c4. All right, I'm going to try something a little weird looking. I'm going to give c4 and try to get my knight into d4 and cause some ruckus. I don't know if this is going to work out too well, but we'll see. So this is the idea. Now the knight's under attack. And, I mean, he'll have to watch knight f3. I know the rook covers it for now, but if knight c3, probably queen into b4. Go on the attack. If e5, I can take it. And if there's a trade, again, they'll fall victim to knight f3 at the end of the line. So just trying to keep the pressure on right now. Queen d3, they want to swap.
Time warning.
Okay, I will agree to a trade, but only if I can do this and then try to go knight b4. I want to win that a pawn. Huh. Yeah, they're just going to allow us to win this. Okay, let's keep the rooks on the board for now. Probably don't want that knight to come in, or that knight to come into c6, so we'll play it like this. Let's come here. I'm not sure about the way I'm playing this ending right now.
Check. Check.
This looks like a
Check.
draw.
Check. Check.
All right, yeah, draw's fair. Well, we gained sufficient counterplay when I played knight b5. Like, coming back here, even though I was temporarily down 2 pawns after this happened, I think the activity I get after knight d4 is enough. Okay, let's go to c4 this time. Just kind of trying the whole range of the repertoire against this player. We'll play this King's English. Knight f3. These are essentially reversed dragon positions. They're kind of fun to play. Let's play bishop e3. I play the English maybe 20% of the time from the white side. It's not a huge fixture of my repertoire, but I will selectively play it. Knight d5, okay. Well, let's take play a3 just to make sure that pawn is never under attack. Maybe b4 in the future. Nothing special at the moment, though. So 4 draws out of 5 games. That's the effect of that increment. You know, pretty much every one of these games that was drawn, if there was no increment, you know, there might be a completely random result at the end. It'll just come down to who's moving faster. Queen a4 or maybe knight d2. Let's play queen a4. We'll save knight d2 for a later time. Thing is, they might be getting ready for knight d4. So that's like a typical move Black would like to play. Rook fd1 maybe. Yeah, that doesn't address the threat though. Bishop c5. Bishop c5, they can trade and then take f3 and then knight d4 at the end. also doesn't do much. Need something accurate here. All right, I'm just going to come here. Not completely sure. This move probably doesn't help me too much. Gives my king a little leeway and maybe somewhat reduces the impact of knight b4, but I'm a little bit grasping at a plan right now. Rook b8. Okay, so maybe b5 ideas. Certainly not going to take on a7. That would run into rook a8. b4 comes to mind. Yeah, let's go b4. I just think that knight d4 move is going to be the remedy for black. And now I've even cut my queen off from the defensive d4, so it really might be on the table. Can I play d4 myself? Probably not. Okay, let's come back here. Maybe I can pester him by attacking the c7 pawn. Rook c8 would probably be a good move. There's bishop h3, but I don't know. Bishop h3, bishop takes f3, bishop takes c8. Actually, that's probably okay. Let's do this. Maybe I can pester that rook and make it move away. Huh, they want to trade the light square bishops. Somehow that seems like it should favor me, so I'll do it. Maybe now d4? d4, take, knight takes, rook d6 at the end. Looks like it could be marginally better. Also, there's knight g5 ideas when I do this. Knight g5, he has rook g6, though. Okay, let's stick with the bishop, actually. This looks kind of interesting. Maybe knight takes was a little stronger, but I was just worried that if I end up with a dark square bishop, it won't have any targets. So kind of like this capture better. Okay, which way to take now? Let's take with the rook. Let's come here. I'm going to let them have that file if they want. Trying to attack some weaknesses in their camp. Really h4 coming. Try to prop up knight g5. Got to watch that time, too. It'd be better to go on the offensive that we're both down a little bit on time. We're going to swap a little bit. Okay. Huh. Where to put the queen for them? Because, okay, they're going to go there. Well, let's come here. Just attack h7 a little bit. c5.
Time.
Let's come here. Threaten mate, obviously. Then I'm thinking take and maybe get at b7. They take with the bishop, we take. And then we're on the rook, so they can't go like check and take e2. Don't believe. My rook's a little off sides, though. I'm up a pawn now, but
Check.
I'm not sure about this. You can maybe take a3. Okay, let's take here just to be safe. Do they have queen d1? They do. Queen d1 would be annoying. Can I run away? Check king here. Check. Okay,
Check.
let's check. I'll have bishop f8. That helps them.
Check.
All right, now I got to run with my king. Let's come back.
check,
This is not great. Let's come back here. This is also not good. Okay, he's going to trade, though. Plays it safe, goes for the endgame. Rather than trying to push that advantage. Well, at least now I'm not going to lose immediately. Let's come here. Going to trade the rooks.
check,
Nope, not yet. This is now a total time scramble. Let's come here.
check,
F5. Ooh, he lost on time. Yeah, that's too bad. I wasn't even looking at his time, really, but yeah, clearly he's pushing for the win. Okay, well, shame for CPE, but you know that's the nature of the beast. You got that 1 second increment. All right, let's keep going with the Benko Gambit. I don't see a reason not to play it. So he keeps taking the pawn, and I think I get good play regardless. So we'll keep doing this. Switches it up, plays F3. Okay, what in the world do I do against this line? It's been so long since I faced this. F3. I think it's E6. Is it? E6? I think it is. I think E6, E4, maybe not. I don't know. Okay, well, at any rate, we're playing it this way. D5. Let's come here. Well, at least this now has a different flavor than previous games. D5. I should probably play D5. D5, he might pin me, though. Okay, let's come here. We'll just fianchetto for now. Ah, no, I was thinking of F3 on move 5. Without B takes A6. Right? Yeah, I was thinking of a completely different line. Okay, I'm doing something experimental now. There is a line with F3, but yeah, white does not take on A6 if they're intending to play it. I don't know about F3 on move 6, I don't believe. That might be something new. I've never seen that. Okay, let's just castle. So there's a little bit of a standoff. Like, he doesn't want to move his light square bishop because he knows that I want to regain the pawn. So he's trying to wait for me to play bishop takes A6 so he can play bishop takes A6 in one move. Yeah, knight F4. Maybe knight D4 seems useful. Just play that quick. You can play bishop here and attack the knight, but I'm not really worried about losing that. Okay, so now I could take here. Yeah, let's do that. Might as well. Might just castle. Yep, castles. C4. Is D5 worth playing for? D5 does not drop E6 because my knight defends it. D5 could be interesting. Looks a little shaky in the center, though. Let's just play queen B6 and kind of eye that pawn on B2 and also C4. I think they probably should hide their king. Yeah, he does. All right, I'm going to induce some swaps. See if they take with the knight or the queen. Okay, it takes with the queen. I have knight B3. They can't take it because a rook takes A1. Knight B3, rook B1, takes C1, rook takes. Or probably that rook takes, actually. I get a good dark square bishop once again, but I don't know about that line. I'm going to go here. Got to watch that time. Minute time differential. This is a cool thing about the Benko. You can often like play for endgames willingly, even though you're still down a pawn. It flies in the face of conventional chess wisdom that says you shouldn't play for endgames if you're down material. All right, we're going to take and then play c4. Attack that knight. I feel like pressuring them on the clock still. I know I'm downtime right now, but that worked out pretty well last game. I saved a bad position because I was able to pressure them on the clock. Okay, so let's attack that knight. I just want this knight out of here. Force it somewhere like e2 or... yeah, somewhere like that. Then we'll defend the g5 pawn. Maybe g4 would have been interesting. This also looks okay. Okay, let's come here and attack that. If bishop c5, I'll play rook f c8. All right, let's play d5 and connect these pawns now. If pawn takes, I should probably take with a knight, actually. They can attack my knight with like rook fc1, but then knight b4, bishop c5, I have rook fb8 to guard the knight. Hopefully this knight being kind of far afield should work to my advantage. This looks ugly. I'm breaking up my pawns, but I think it's not a bad way to play it, because if I can get at this knight, then a2 becomes weaker. Not entirely sure what they should play here. Against that, I can take here, and then go take on a2. So regaining my pawn. They need this knight back in the game. c3 is now hanging, though. Okay, let's take that. I'm going to let them take e6 if they want. Rook e2 is coming, though, isn't it?
Time warning.
Huh. It's annoying. Okay, I think I gotta give up that pawn, unfortunately. Oh, they're doing it that way. Okay, well, against that, at least I can do this. I know they have bishop c5. Let's get on the second rank. Their knight is still out of play, so at least there's that. Trying to double up the rooks. Let's take. Bishop d4 is a threat. Can they save their knight? So now bishop c5 is coming.
Check.
That. I shouldn't have chosen that square. That's very clever. Let's do this. Try to keep them pinned down. I don't know. Something. All right, I'm gonna do this. He has to check, doesn't he?
Check.
Yeah, this is losing. All right, I lost that one. Ooh. Yeah, I thought I had something at the end there. I chose a bad square on b4, was it? Yeah, if I had gone to a5 instead, a5 would have stayed out of the pin. Let me just turn the engine on for a second. Yeah, bishop a5 or bishop e1 even was very good. That's instructive because I went here, but that allows him to get behind, and now my bishop is pinned. I can't play bishop c5. But had I gone to a5, I would have stayed out of that business. Okay, so another game. Let's go back to c4. I actually kind of liked how that one turned out, so we'll play it again. Settling in a little bit. Okay, c6, so I think I want to play, let's play knight f3 against that and hit this pawn. And they usually go for d5. We'll take with the queen. Okay, so, just play e3. Not entirely sure how this should go. This is kind of new to me. Let's play f4, actually. This looks interesting. And then Let's take with the knight and hit the queen. Let's play bishop here. So a little bit of a messed up pawn structure for me. I have more islands than them now. Let's play d4. Maybe I can go for e4, e5. Oh, I blundered bishop takes g3. Whoops. Well, that was a complete mistake. There we go. I went several games without a blunder, and now you have it. Clear blunder. All right, I guess I'm going to play for e4, e5 nonetheless. This looks more like a king's gambit now than anything else. Bishop b4, yeah. So putting some pressure here. He's moved that bishop a lot, but I can't really punish it too well. If bishop d3, there's going to be bishop g4 pinning me. All right, I'm going to offer to give the e-pawn. I just don't really see a better way to play it. So bishop takes c3, b takes c3, knight takes e4, maybe bishop d3 then. And with their king in the center, at least I can hope to drum something up. Probably they should just castle right here. Although maybe knight g5 or knight e5. Knight e5 could be something. Discovered attack, queen h3. Still very doubtful about my play, but hey, at least it's a cool looking position. He's debating about whether to snatch that pawn. Will he do it? He will, okay. Let's proceed as intended. Because now if knight f2, there's queen e2 check, and I'll win the knight. f5. That's the defense he has in mind. So probably getting ready to castle. All right, let's play rook g1, just attack g7. If castles, I'm thinking bishop a3 and hit that rook on f8. We've got some interesting play. Unfortunately, I don't think it's enough. I think it's kind of insufficient play for the pawn. Not enough threats, not enough follow-up threats. And even though their queenside is kind of slumbering right now, I'm not sure what to make of that. They can't play rook g5. They can always just play g6 later. Okay, let's come here. Just try to connect our rooks. I'm walking into a discovery, but I don't think they can do anything with it. Oh, no, they actually have maybe knight takes c3. They might have had. All right, I'm just going to try to double up the rooks and see what happens. At some point, I'll have to address this knight on e4. That's too strong of a piece in its current form. But I don't want to take it, because if I take it, my light squares just become shot. All right, so how can I cause some trouble here? The queen and the knight are the big problems. Let's bring this away. Let's just get out of the pin for now. Maybe bishop e2. Bishop e2, bishop c1, perhaps. Let's bring this back. I don't think the bishop was doing anything on that current posting. Well, maybe knight e5 now is possible, now that this knight's no longer on d7. Hey, 30 seconds each. Anything could happen. Okay, let's go knight e5. What are you going to do about that? Attack f7 and also g6 a little bit. Okay, let's come here. You can take h2. Nope. Choose not to, but now we're getting at that g6 point. Now there might be some serious stuff coming crashing down on g6. Maybe they have to give up e5 even. Yeah. They decided
Check.
they had to. Can take here
Time
now,
warning.
right? Discovered attack on the queen.
Check.
Ah, that move. Missed that. Well, now I
Check.
gotta take.
Check.
Ah. That is a bummer. Yeah, I blew that at the end. Okay, resign. What happened there? I missed that bishop takes g6 was coming with check. Very important detail. Wow, sloppy game. All right, well, at least I gave myself some more chances than I probably deserved out of that one. Let's stick with Benko. Let's see if he plays that f3 line again. Okay, different variation. White's starting to mix it up a little bit. I kind of like this line with a6. I think it's reasonable, so let's play it. I think I'll probably play this game and the next game and then call it a session. It's been a pretty good session. E3. So if I take, bishop takes, and then e5, what's going on there? Not quite sure. No, I think I can just take and then even just play e6 is fine. Yeah, because b5 could be played at some point in the future, and this looks pretty good for me. Let's play b5 now. Whoa, didn't want to pre-move that. If queen f3, I'm going to play rook a7, and then try to get in bishop b7. So now rook a7 or queen b6. Let's play rook a7. This is kind of a weird Queen's Gambit accepted looking position. I think the match is even right now. I think we have 2 wins apiece with a bunch of draws. So attacking the rook. Rook d7 would appear logical, but kind of leaning towards this square more. Because on d7, it takes away this square from the knight. That was my hang up about that move. Yeah, rook d1, threatening some discoveries. Better run away. Let's offer a trade of the queens. And try to complete our development, quite simply. Okay, now do I have to worry about threats on b5? I think I do. Like if here, there's knight takes b5, which is very annoying. Maybe bishop d6 then, or bishop e7. All right, I'm going to play bishop e7, try to castle. I don't think knight takes b5 is working. Knight c takes b5, a takes b5, rook c8 check, bishop d8. Don't think that's going to work. Bishop a5, rook d7. I appear to have everything under control. They could swap on d8 and then do some sort of discovery with their knight after that, though. Maybe they get 3 pawns for it. It's kind of a complex line. Yeah, e4 makes sense. Okay, I'm just going to castle. If e5, I'll play knight fd7. Yeah, they're going to try to put the bishop on e3, I believe. This knight is always coming to c6. Just come here. We got to be careful about moving this piece. Let's do this now. So kind of working into c4 maybe. Go attack that rook. Maybe rook d7 after this. Rook d7 or rook d8, one of the two. Rook d8. Seems more normal. Just checking to make sure I'm not running into some knight takes b5 tricks again. I don't think I am. Knight takes b5, rook takes d1, knight takes d1, pawn takes b5, rook c8 check. It's not working for them. Let's come here. Let's take this way now. I still haven't moved this knight. I'm just very mindful of that c6 square. Just don't want to run into anything on that. I think I'm close to equalizing now. Just get the sense. Let's bring this over too. Looks like a good idea. Keep everything nice and tight.
Warning.
Let's come here. Attack that rook. Jump on the file now.
Check.
We'll play knight c6 after this. Finally. Let's go f5 and try to gain a little space. Okay, we might both end up with some weak pawns. Let's come here. All right, we'll defend f6. Maybe they'll take and play knight d5, but I don't think there's anywhere to go after that.
Check.
Let's give it a check. Let's push this. Come up with a king. You come in here.
Check.
Let's come here. Try to cramp them a little bit.
Check.
Oh, drop the knight. Ah, another blunder right at the end. Huge blunder. Yeah. I was kind of pressing down the stretch too. You know what I should have just played was king d4. King d4 right here. And move number 49. That would have been good and hit the knight. Oh, he left. All right, well, that concludes the match. He left kind of abruptly, but that's too bad. Yeah, right in this position at the end. I had no need for f4, I don't think. I think I can just play king d4 right away. If he takes, I take f6. I guess Now I could check and then come back to e5, and I would stop the pawn. Oh, I could make it really easy by playing, yeah, as the computer's saying here, f takes g4 and then king d4. So just get rid of the pawn and then infiltrate, and the king is not close enough to protect that knight. Yeah, as played, I just blundered the game away in one move. Nowhere my king can go to defend the knight. Okay, so I think I lost by one game. I lost the last 3. I was doing pretty well up till that point. I did have the one win. That was a legit win. This one was by flagging. So I'd say he outplayed me a bit, although every game was competitive. This game, even this game, I probably could have won right at the end, despite being down a pawn, if I had chosen bishop a5. Yeah, this game made an opening oversight with allowing bishop takes g3. But other than that, pretty good game against a Grandmaster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be back again soon with another video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.